Well, hello there. We're here with another episode of My Friend Bob. We'll discuss a few things which are of interest at this point of late spring, early summer. Again, I live in Northeast United States. Our temperatures are still more towards mid-spring than late spring. We are in Zone 7A. Surprising thing happened to me. If you watch my videos from last year, even if you go to my blog, I always use the word we are in zone 6A. So what happened? So this year, USDA map of hardiness zones in the United States changed. And how it changes? So what they do is they average out coldest day of the winter over the last few decades. And from there, they figure out what's your time zone. So what does 6 or 7 mean? We'll talk about A and B later. So with zone 6, which we used to be part of, it was my coldest average night temperature in winters would be around -10 to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's good. So I was in 6A, technically speaking, so I will be -5 Fahrenheit. I'm part of 7 now, 7A, and we'll go there also. There's a jump of 10 degree Fahrenheit. So now I'm in a zone from 0 to 10 degree Fahrenheit. And being in 7A, I'm 5 positive Fahrenheit. So 10 Fahrenheit jump. So my winters have become a bit warmer. That said, this does not mean, or it doesn't have anything to do with my summers. Yes, it has one other thing. With winters changing a bit, and this is not part of climate change, this is naturally how weathers change over a period of time. Climate change is something a bit different. My frost date previously used to be from, my end of frost will be May 1st, and November 1st will be taken as start of frost. Now, with 10 degree temperature shift, my frost date has become April 15th, or end of April 15th is the end of frost from winter. And November 15th has become when my frost will start. All this said, before I explain this, let me explain one thing. Whatever I'm talking about is very specific to the United States. Other countries have also their hardiness zones. They might match, but a 6A in the United States and a 6A, let's say, in another country, coldest temperature wise, it might be the same, or coldest night in winter. But when it comes to other factors like how much sunlight do you get, what's the length of the day, and so this is just one tool. Many people just think that just worrying about the hardiness zone is more than enough, which is not true. So in the United States, there are 13 zones. One is the coldest, and 13 is the warmest. Now, without going too much into other technical details, let's see something else. You have annual plants and you have perennial plants. Annuals, which just, yeah, also biannuals. But if we just think about annuals and perennials, annuals are the ones which you plant that year, vegetables typically, flowers typically, and they go through the season and they die, and next year you have to plant them again. Then you have perennials which keep on coming back. So how does this hardiness zone temperatures affect anything? Affects it differently. So let's talk about annuals first. Getting that extra 15 days, both sides of frost, your growing period is increasing. So technically speaking, my growing period has increased by a month, but then again, that is not true, and we'll go further. With perennials, temperature zone is important for perennials because perennials are the one who have to survive the winter. Keep in that in mind. Perennials have to survive the winter. Gardeners who worry about vegetables and flowers and worry about hardiness zone, they should stop doing it, because what they should do is just go outside, feel how it feels, look at the temperature in the next 10 days, have a general idea, and grow accordingly. So with perennials, you have to be careful that you do not. So in zone 7A, which is warmer in winter by 10 degrees, to 6A, you can grow something which can tolerate a bit more cold. So you would be able to grow something, let's say, from 5A also. But if you go the other way around, 8A, which is warmer than 7A, you potentially would have a problem. So just keep in mind, read the labels, ask help from professionals. Uh, but generally speaking, I just wanted to give a rough idea that what it means. I have not started my summer garden yet, and I was just checking my old pictures, and in 2009, by May 5th, by May 9th, sorry, I already had started my summer garden. Today, we are towards the end of May, and I have not started anything. I'm still growing my spring garden. There's a term used in Britain and some other countries, a hungry gap. A hungry gap means a period where you, technically speaking, can't grow much. You can read more about it. Uh, what I understand is that that's a period, uh, whatever was grown in last fall, you ending that, you have not been able to uh, cultivate or pick any new vegetables yet. In the United States, technically speaking, we do not use that term hungry gap. And the reason being, the United States is such a huge country that we have so many different time zones, different surely time zones also, but temperature zones that we do import from other states. So like that's a domestic import compared to foreign import. We might not have a hungry gap in the United States, but in northeast United States, what we do have is, starting in January all the way to end of March, we can't really grow anything outside. Yes, if you have specialized conditions like a greenhouse, growing inside, hydroponics, you can do that. But growing old-fashioned backdoor gardening, you really can't do that. So yes, it's not a hungry gap because you can still buy, uh, let's say, lettuce from California or Florida or whatever that might be. But in terms of us backyard gardeners in Northeast, we are not able to grow anything, and that's so. Instead of calling a hungry gap, I'll call it the jittery time. We go through these jitters. Okay, when can I do it? When can I do it? When can I do it? This brings me to my next subject. Um, when you are stuck inside during winter and you start feeling spring, and a couple of days in early spring, we'll almost feel like, oh, it's almost there. And we go, run out, put our plants out, and oh, we're ready. And then suddenly a cold happens and everything dies. My suggestion to everybody who lives in a colder climate would be, wait an extra week or two. It doesn't make a difference. There are no rules. When I say there are no rules, there used to be, uh, people used to say, oh, you start this by Mother's Day, you start this by Memorial Day, and you start this by this. Those rules don't apply. It really depends on how the weather is going. So keep an eye on your temperatures. Start early inside. Keep all those plants inside. You can start bringing them out just for a few hours so they get used to the cold, so there's no sudden shock. But plants even today, they might be ready now, but I will still wait a week or two. So I might start my summer garden almost in June. All that said, What could you do right now? You can do your spring garden. We have already started our spring garden, and you can go and see our video. What else you could do? We started potatoes. You could have done that a month and a half ago. Then we already started a herb garden. So we are doing things. It's not that we are not, but we're not in that thick time that we can grow everything. Now, talking about potatoes, we are about to break a rule that Bob told us. Go and watch our video about potatoes that we started a month and a half or so ago. So I have potatoes over here. So let me explain again. Chitting. So this is chitting. If you have potatoes, they'll start growing like this. You cut them, you let it heal for a few days, and then you put in the ground. And if it has chits or eyes, whatever you want to call them, more than one, keep the strongest one and get rid of the other ones. The rule we are about to break is potatoes we started a month and a half ago, they were store-bought seeds. These were potatoes sitting in the house for cooking. Somehow we overlooked them. They started chitting. I cut them. I'm about to, since I have buckets, since I have extra soil, and since I have space, I'm doing it. Bob's argument is, and you should listen to his argument, that if you do store-bought, they might not grow as good. We'll see. So that'll be part of our experiment. So from here, I'll take you. I'll show you our progress till now. As I said, not ready with the summer planting yet, but we are preparing. I hope you saw something, you learned something. And as always, I say thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.